Thank you so much for doing this. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Our podcast is about your journey in music and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're in LA now?
I'm in LA. I'm originally from Fresno, so I've been here about like 7 years, I'd say.
In Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Tell me about growing up in Fresno.
So I grew up like not in Fresno. I grew up like in like it's a little outskirts from Fresno. It's on the way to Yosemite. So
Okay.
super naturey. I would just like I had a lot of time to like write and stuff. So that's kind of where I got like my kicks for writing and art and stuff. So
Okay. What about like live music? And it was there. I used to live in the Bay Area and to San Diego. Like drove through that, like, that long area of quite a few times.
yeah,
And they're like, yeah, I mean, there's Fresno, but around it, it's like there's nothing around. It's
it's
crazy.
desolate. Yeah.
Like farms. But in
yeah.
Fresno, like, were there places for you to watch bands play? Like, were you able to get into music that way?
So actually like when I was younger, there was like a little bit of like a house scene and like, EDM. So that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like how I started going to shows. So it wasn't like really live shows, but just like,
More
DJ
rave, yeah,
had
dance
more
parties.
raves. But
R-
yeah, so that was
but
fun.
right on. And always, you said always writing. Were you writing like lyrics or like poetry? Is that what you're interested
Um,
in?
I always wrote like poetry. I didn't know I was going to get into music. I kind of just stumbled into it. I grew up playing guitar and like I didn't really write songs at the time. I was just like kind of learning how to play my guitar, but I eventually like once I moved out here, I was like, well, I kind of want to get into like singing and like explore that avenue. So I hit up like one of my friends and he does like EDM music mainly,
Mm-hmm.
but he works with like a lot of cool like rap artists like St. John right now and so he got me into making a song and the beat and like I wrote over it and that's kind of like
How it
how
started.
how it started. Yeah.
Right on. Well, what took you to LA? So you were playing guitar and just writing lyrics, nothing really too serious, like in Fresno area, right? And then you decided to move to Los Angeles. What took you to LA?
I wanted to be an actress. So
Oh, okay.
most people, yeah, they move here for that. So I wanted to go to acting school. I moved here when I was 17, so like a little younger.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to acting school and I liked it to an extent, and I just kind of, fell off with it. And I got into music and I kind of just went with that because I fell in love with it. So
Sure. And like when you were younger, acting were you in plays and stuff? Was that kind of where you're interested in?
yeah, I was like in plays and like drama club and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like why I transitioned to music or just I guess like music more is because there's more of like a creative control with it. I think like with acting there is obviously, but it's like very like directed.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do this and you have to do that and like kind of listen to someone else and like do what they want to do. But like with music, I feel like especially being like an indie artist, it's very like it's up to you what you want to do and like
Right.
what you create. So that's initially why I wanted to do this over like, something else in the arts.
Sure. Yeah. Because when you're acting, you have a director and somebody that wrote the script and everything else in between where you have to kind of
You kind of got to follow their lead.
their vision. Right. Sure. And
Yeah,
with music, you get to do what you want to do. And
exactly. And that's my thing.
right. So you're in acting school. Like, so tell me about the transition. What like how did you decide, oh, you know what, I'm gonna write a song, and what song was that?
So like I was, doing that. I got like an agent for a little bit and I was doing it, but I just like felt like I was constantly getting like, do this, do that, do this, do that. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate this. And
Hmm.
so I, hit up my friend and we made the first song I ever made with him was Numb. And I
Wow.
really got with Bobby Raps like way later, but
Hmm.
I made that song like a long time ago actually.
Oh, so the version that's out now is because you added him, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
that
Okay.
was like my first song I ever made. And
Wow.
yeah, so I'm like, it's my baby. I'm super proud of it. I worked on it for a while. And then I made Deja Vu with him, which is more on like the EDM like scale, you would say.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I kind of just like went from there. And once I got that momentum, I like just
You
wanted
just
to keep going
hit the
with it.
ground running with it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So with Numb, was that something that you had like lyrics written out already, or like how did the song come to life?
So he like went over the beat and I kind of just like, I was like, oh, I like this. And I'm like, I'm feeling, and like, I kind of went off of the hook, you know, and went around the hook and wrote around it and just like top lined it pretty much. And
Okay.
yeah, so
So you had the hook already, and then when you heard the beat, it just worked.
yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. And so that song goes out, and then once you put out the version without, or did you always save it? It didn't come out until recently.
It came out, I released it for the first time, I think 2019. So everything I released, the first thing I released was Deja Vu.
Oh, okay,
And
that was my question. So that was the first thing that you put up
yeah,
online.
exactly.
Got it. Okay.
That was the first thing I ever released in 2019. And then
Tell me about that. Was that scary? Like, you
yeah,
got
like a little bit. Like I don't know, I was like waiting for a while to release stuff because I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I was like, one day I just woke up and I was like, you know what, whatever, let's just release it. Come on. So I did, and I'm really, really happy I made that decision.
yeah, for sure. So I mean, it has a ton of plays on Spotify. So you put it up. Was it like originally? Did you just put it up on everything, Spotify, SoundCloud, or was it like something that kind of came from SoundCloud to something else, or it was
No, I
just
kind of just went to straight to like distributing everything like full on.
full on? And
Yeah.
how did you start seeing numbers? Like, I mean, that song has almost 400,000 plays on
I mean,
just one version of it.
I think like what I did is so I released it and like I think it just got some good traction because it's pretty catchy and like
Right.
I just, you know, what I did is like I really just sent it out to people. Like something I do is like I like connecting with fans and like
Mm-hmm.
having like a full on like not full on but like a relationship with my fans. Like I want them to like know that I care about my music and like care about them as fans. So
Mm-hmm.
I literally just send out my songs to people. Like
Wow.
I just DM people my songs. Like I still do that. So I think it's like a cool way to like connect with fans and new people.
Definitely, definitely. That's rad. So just sending out to people, then it gains some traction. Obviously, did it get like playlisted on Spotify or something like
Yeah,
that? Or
I got so on some playlists and like not like editorials, but like, you know, it just continued to get on more playlists and people noticed it. And then I was like, okay. And then I just started releasing more stuff. Um, but yeah, like, I don't know, it went really well. And then I got together like a few DJs to remix Deja Vu.
mm-hmm.
And that also helped with like getting my name out there. Like Gold House is one of the bigger ones
Mm-hmm.
who did that. So that was really cool.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
so that song's going. Obviously, it's doing really well, and it must have been a validating moment. Like, okay, so I can actually do this, right?
Yeah, definitely. I was like, yay, cool. You know.
And so from there, what like where did you just keep putting out? Did you have singles ready? Like, or tell me about. You said you wrote two songs with that first producer that you met when you
Yeah.
decided to start going into this, and then how did the other songs kind of unfold? Like Missing You and ADHD.
Okay, so Missing You was like I actually started going to voice lessons after I released music, which is probably not the best thing I would recommend, but like but yeah, no, I just started to take it super seriously and I went to my voice coach and they have like a network of like producers and
Mhm.
I met this guy and I was like, I really want to do a cover of like Missing You. It's the John Waite song. It's the 80s one. It's like, I
Yeah.
ain't missing you at all. Like that one.
Hmm.
So good. So I did a cover of it and that one did well too, because I think like covers just do well because it's already a hit song and
Right.
like you putting your own take on it. So that did good too. And then I just feel like Numb is more on that vibe, but like I kind of realized like over, I guess, the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
time, you know, I'm like a super grungy, like kind of emo pop girl. So I wanted to make more of a alternative transition to like
Yeah,
my like
that
EM based stuff or
yeah.
like very poppy. And I feel like Bad Bitch is on the wave of that. Like that's probably one of the best songs I think that I've
Mm-hmm.
written. It's just like there's so much stuff in it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that one. But so yeah, then I started like hitting up some friends I knew who are more like, you know, they work with like emo rap artists or like, you know, more of like the emo type dudes. And
Sure. That's my like that's the
yeah,
music I grew up on and love. So like
yeah. So I'm super like I love alternative music and like rock and all that stuff. So, and I really love like right now that's like such a huge thing. Like with
right.
Machine Gun Kelly's like new album, like it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so good.
Yeah, he totally like he
Or
was
like
able
Bump
to
Blood.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like both those guys were able to pull like these huge pop artists and collaborate with them and um yeah, it's cool to see that transition happening, definitely.
No, it's super cool. So I'm like, yo, this is like the perfect time to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
that's I just feel like it's more of like who I am. Like I love EDM too. Like don't get me wrong, but I think like more of like long term as a person, I'm more of like the darker EDM, like or not EDM, sorry, alternative.
Emo. Yeah,
That's my phone.
all
Sorry.
good.
But yeah, so then I started working with this guy. His name's Puga, who did ADHD, and like it's not like dark. It's just like so catchy and like more of like alternative and fun
Right. Mm-hmm.
guitar. Yeah, like that one was like really fun to write because I just didn't take it seriously. It's not like people are like, oh, what's it about? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I
Yeah, it's
don't
not like some
know.
serious song about ADHD, and it's more of a fun track.
Yeah, like people are like, oh, like you have ADHD, like what inspired you to write this? I'm like, I don't know, because I have ADHD and like I thought it'd be fun. Like it's
Yeah.
catchy, ADHD.
Right, right, right. Well,
So
wait, so you just, I mean, you said you put out Deja Vu last year. So this
yeah.
is all kind of new. Like, tell me about what happened. Like, where were you at and did you have going on when like everything started shutting down in the beginning of this year?
It was so sad. So like I had the day the pandemic hit, I dropped Bad Bitch. I know. And I planned it like 2 months in advance to drop. So I had no idea.
Right,
And
of course.
it was perfect because I dropped it on March 13th, which was my birthday. I'm a Pisces.
Oh, happy
And
birthday.
it was Friday the 13th, which was dope. And I had a show that day.
Oh, rad. And so was it able to happen or no? Everything shut down.
No, everything shut down. On that day, literally that day. I was so mad, but you know, you got to work with it. It still did good. And like, honestly, that's like one of my favorite songs. So I'm going to try and like revamp her and like get her out there more because I think she's so good. And, you know, but with the pandemic, honestly, though, I'm thankful for it. Like, that sucked a lot because I
Mm-hmm.
was starting to gain like more traction with that and things just slowed down in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I wrote some really good songs out of this whole situation that I don't think I would have not being in this situation.
Sure. So you've actually been able to write and take advantage of
Oh
being
yeah.
stuck inside. How are you doing? Zoom stuff, or are you recording on your own computer at home?
No, I mean I still like work with like a close set of people. Like I'm not like going out and
Right. Oh, so yeah, you're able to be in the
yeah,
room
I'm
with
still able to
somebody.
go to the studio. I'm still able to like well, you know, I'll do like demos like on my laptop and stuff in my room, but like, you know, I can still go to the studio and like get stuff done
That's cool. That's good.
with the
What?
homies. So
Yeah. Were you able
yeah.
to? Yeah. Yeah. Did you still? Are you still feeling inspired, or is it kind of like you're over the sense of sitting
I'm always
inside?
inspired for some reason. Like I'll go through like waves of like not being inspired at all. Like I'll sleep
Hmm.
all day and just be sad or something. But something that like helped me honestly stay consistent and stay like really inspired and just like write no matter what, even if I feel like a dud that day, is like there's this thing called the artist way. It's like my secret.
Hmm.
And you basically wake up no matter what, like it's like a meditation. You wake up, you get like a old like college ruled notebook and you write just whatever comes to your mind. Like you can write like I like cereal, like over and over and over. It doesn't matter. You just have to write 3 pages. And
Hmm.
it sounds weird, but it gets out like all the like you know, like your inner critic of like what you're writing.
Sure.
But when you write, you just don't really like, you're not like, oh, does this sound good? Is this weird? Like you don't care. You just write it and like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It almost prevents you from holding back. It like works on that as far as
Yeah,
being. Yeah.
I think like in the beginning, I had such a huge like, oh my God, does this sound cool? Are people gonna like this? And I kind of
Hmm.
just stopped caring about like what
What
other
other people
people,
thought.
yeah, and it's really nice. So, and I feel like you just write way doper stuff when you do that.
Hmm.
Like, because you're just like not thinking about like, oh, is this cool? Like you just write it and like it will be cool. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Right. Right. So you'll just wake up every morning and just start writing whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, and it's like you don't share that book with anyone. It's weird. It's a weird book because you're just writing gibberish, literally.
Okay.
But I swear to God, my writing has improved so much since I've been doing that. And it's like an actual like program that people like a lot of artists do and it like really helps. So yeah, recommend
That's
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, have you ever taken stuff from, like, have you sat down and wrote out like something that you've put out or taken lyrics from some of those all sit down in the morning sessions, or they're just kind
No.
of there to like
There's
work
like
your brain?
it's just there for like it's like gibberish. Like it doesn't make sense. Like you don't show the whole rule of thumb with that book is like you don't show it to anyone. It's just literally getting out all the gunk in your brain. It's like because I feel like when you wake up in the morning you have a lot of thoughts going on.
Right.
Meditation, it's a form of meditation, so
That's
it really like clears you to
Yeah. That's cool. I haven't heard that before. That's a like a
yeah.
really interesting concept.
Yeah,
Even
it's really cool. I recommend it to like even people who aren't artists, like just do it and like you will think clearer during the day and you'll just be like a more like chill, relaxed person. You won't overthink things as much. It's a weird phenomenon, but it works, I swear.
right. Yeah, that's very, very interesting.
Yeah, but
Um,
that was a little bit of a tangent, but you
I
know,
love it. It's
yeah.
all good. Well, okay, so like with this, have you been, you talked about you're gonna play a show and release this track and everything shut down. Were you performing out quite a bit prior to
I've
coronavirus?
I've actually never had like a live performance before.
Wow. Are you
So
excited to do that? Like, is that something you want to
yeah,
do?
yeah, I mean, I was stoked to do it. But you know, that happened and like there's no live shows right now. But I
Right.
mean, that's something like I'm I'm super excited to like get started with once, you know, we can start doing that again. And like I think it's kind of cool because it can kind of ease me into things because we can't have large scale shows. So
Right.
like I can ease into it and you know, I'm excited to
Yeah, you don't have to walk out to like 30,000 people or even
oh
like
yeah,
5,000.
I would freak out. But like yeah, no, it's because it's such like it's a vulnerable thing to just like sing in general.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's weird. I've talked to other artists about this, like how It is such a vulnerable thing. Like if you suck a guitar, or if there's a guitar around and you don't know how to play and you just pick it up and start whacking on it and it sounds awful, like nobody cares. Or you drive a drum and hit it and no, you're not good.
Or,
But if you
like,
try to sing something, people are like, ooh, like it's just so much like it's like a it's you definitely take it more. I think you have to have thicker skin with that.
oh yeah, so like I kind of, this was a blessing in disguise because like it's intimidating to like, you know, start doing that, but like I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to start though. Like I'm ready now. So
Was it intimidating singing in front of like with even with Numb, like something you had wrote years ago, in the studio performing and singing in front of somebody for the first time? Was that scary?
yeah, of course it was. Oh my God. So like, I mean, I think like why like I didn't sing for so long or just explore it is because it's like such a vulnerable like um thing to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I was always like scared of like just doing that and being super like vulnerable and like what if I mess up? And like I
Right. Or
think
somebody
like,
like, you don't, yeah, it's like your
who
voice. So
cares if
somebody
you mess
says,
up?
like, yeah, your voice sucks. Then it's like, ow, like, I can't change that.
Yeah, I mean like, and honestly I've improved so much. Like I just think the more you, it's cliche, but the more you do something and the more like you put yourself out there and just get over like, you know, like if you mess up, like you're gonna mess up, you're a human being, like it's
Sure.
gonna happen. Like it happens. But yeah, just like getting used to it and doing it like has helped me. But like at first I was like, oh my God, get away from me, I want to be alone in my room. But
Right.
now I'm like, no, come over.
Yeah. More, definitely more confident now than then.
Yeah,
With that, have you done any of the live streaming things or are you staying away from that as well until?
I mean I haven't yet, I've thought about it, but I'm like a very like extra person. So like if I did do it, it'd be like a full production
Okay. It wouldn't just be
in my room.
you opening the phone and saying, hey guys, we're going to do it. You'd put it on. You'd put on a show.
Yeah. And I mean that's like a little extra of me, but like whatever. It's part of my personality. So I wouldn't change it.
That's
So
awesome. And what
yeah.
about music as far as that? Like you've been putting out a lot of singles. Do you have a plan for a record, a EP?
Uh
What's the plan?
yeah, I'm working on that right now actually. Finally.
Okay.
Um
How's that going?
really, really good. Like this is like these songs that I'm making right now are the best songs I swear to God I've ever made.
Really? That's
They're
great.
very they're very different than anything I've ever made, like in terms of production, like just lyrics. And I mean it's like I don't know, like I'm super proud of this album that I'm making. It's it's gonna be insane.
Have you put out any of the songs yet, or this is all brand new
No,
stuff ready to go?
this is I'm like going to record one of the songs tonight, so it's like brand new.
Wow.
But I will say, so I had a song come out recently, Manic,
Hmm.
and I have a feature for that one, Dying in Designer. So he just sent me that, so I'll have that released like probably I would say like January, end of this month, maybe.
Wow.
So
So
yeah,
just a feature on that on Manic that you've already released.
yeah,
Very
exactly. So
cool.
I wanted to add a little like emo dude flair to it and
Hmm.
make it sound a little cool. So
Awesome. So that'll be out, and then you're working on the record now.
yeah, oh, I'm so excited. It's so good.
That's awesome. Can't wait. Does it have more of that like emo vibe to it? Like what's the
Mm,
vibe? And you say it's different than your other
it's
songs.
yeah. So I'm sorry, you guys. I keep changing like my sound like a little bit. Still really bad. Oops, sorry, I can't help it.
Yeah. You're evolving. Who cares?
I'm evolving. It's fine. I'm still like new. So
Right.
I so what I'm doing with that is like the best way I could describe it is think like you know the artist Banks, like the girl
Yeah.
Banks.
Yeah. She's got the
So
hair down in front of her eye on the one side.
yeah, very, very creepy, very like a lot of harmonies, a lot of
Hmm.
harmonies, really cool melodies and just like dark, like think like dark gothic church beats, but like electronic. Do you know who Breakins is?
No, I'll have to check. I'll check them out.
look him up. Okay, so
What,
kind of
break-ins?
break-ins. Yeah. Girl
Okay.
version of him with like bangs with like a little like Billie Eilish thrown into there.
Rad.
Like,
I'm gonna check it out. I'm
yeah.
gonna write it down right now.
Yeah. Super
Break-ins?
break-ends, like BRAKENCE. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not the spelling bee queen.
Oh, it's all good. I was writing. I thought you said break in, like to break in somebody's
Oh
house.
no. It's really cool. I love his production because it's like it just like it's like boom slap boom slap, it like hits you at every moment of the song, and he transitions his like voice and melodies, like it's just really cool, and like he inspired me a lot to like change up production and make it really like like
Mhm.
in your
More
face,
in your face, right?
but also keep my voice on the like creepy dark like vibe. Yeah.
Awesome. And that's that I can't wait to hear it. That sounds rad.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Very-
But yeah, like
And-
it's still like on the vibe of like manic and like my recent songs and like Dark Waters,
Mhm.
the one before manic. So yeah.
Very cool. I can't wait to hear it. I have one more question for you. You were kind of answering it already earlier, talking about writing something every morning, but do you have any advice aside from that piece, which is incredible? Any other advice you could offer an inspiring aspiring artist?
Um, I was always one to like never want to collaborate with people because I'm like, it's mine. But collaborate, like literally have your ideas and like work with people and like come together on something really cool. Cause like that was something I wasn't like wanting to do a lot. But I've been like working with the guy I'm doing my new album with. And it's just like, I don't know, like have someone else's opinion, like in the midst of everything, or like talk to someone who's like, you know, knows how to write a hit song or knows how to, make a song lift more. Cause that was an issue I had. It's like making songs lift. So I'm talking to people who can like help me do that. And like, cause lyrically, I think I write dope lyrics, but like melodies, I still need improvement on. So
Mhm.
always just like asking for help. Like it's like successful people ask for help all the time. So I think that's another great thing to do as like a writer is always get like a second opinion and refine what you're doing, but like still like make it you.
Bringing it backward.